Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And now we are back and in effect, ladies and gentlemen. Things are working good now. Apologize for the mishap a little bit earlier, but we're here and we are ready for today's game at 3:30 p.m. The New York Knicks are going to take on the Miami Heat in Miami, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to go ahead and break this thing down. Let's start with the injury report, Andy. And let me say what's up to Andy first. Andy, how you doing?
What up, Sam? Happy to be on with you. Long time no see. The
Yep.
last couple of weeks was kind of busy for me. So, I was watching the playoffs silently by myself. So I didn't, freak out online on any kind of stream. Didn't start cursing or some stuff like that or going wild crazy.
Yeah.
So, I hope I'm going to be a good omen for tonight's game.
I
And
dig
it's
it, man.
there's not a better time as 3:30 for European fans. It's gonna be like 9:30 for us. I'm gonna hit the pub, sports bar, my friend's owns, and we're gonna have a great time. I hope the Knicks win. I'm probably gonna have to pick up the tab after that, but
Hey,
I'll do that trade any day.
yeah. For your sake, I hope that the Knicks win because, Miami Heat fans are ridiculous. I'll just say that. They're ridiculous. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the injury report, ladies and gentlemen. So far, for the New York Knicks, the only person that's out is Jericho Sims. All right, which is a very good thing. That means Jalen Brunson. That means Julius Randle. Both of those guys are playing. All right, Quentin Grimes, who also suffered a shoulder injury in the previous series, he's playing. So the Knicks are fully healthy. As for the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler is questionable. All right, Caleb Martin is questionable. In my opinion, they're both going to play. At least Jimmy Butler is going to play, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's no way, after taking a loss in game two, in my opinion, there's no way Jimmy Butler does not play today. So I expect Jimmy Butler to be out there in the Heat uniform. You, Andy?
Of course, Sim, like you said, this is all mind games, and I don't see it any way. I don't think they would literally think this, sitting out Jimmy Butler for this game is, worth the risk
Right.
of taking an L
There's no
versus
way.
the Knicks at home in Miami. So I
Yeah.
think
There's no way. There's no way they can think it's worth the risk. This game is just too important. Right? The Knicks and the Heat, both teams want to go up 2-1. The Miami Heat, they want to keep hold of home court advantage. The Knicks want to reestablish home court advantage. So I can't see that Jimmy Butler wouldn't play today unless he's really, really hurt and he just can't go. The only thing I can think about is maybe they have a false sense of confidence that because they played well without Jimmy Butler, that they can beat the Knicks without Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? I mean, would you call that a false sense of confidence, or do you think they can beat the Knicks without Jimmy Butler? At least one game.
Wilson, me personally, I think that would be really stupid for them to think about it because, we lost the game one because we were shooting around 20% from three. I don't think they can even imagine that the Knicks are going to go around that percentage in any games until this series is ended, right? So if they think that they can keep us, to the number around 20%, which for me is actually the key stat for this series on any side, the teams that's going to shoot, better threes, I think is going to have a way better, bigger chance
Yeah,
to advance.
I definitely agree with that. The Knicks in game one shot 20%. In game two, shot 40%. Miami's only been shooting about 34%. So definitely the 3-point shooting is a key in this series on both sides. On both sides, it's a major key. You know what I mean? Shout out to, I can't even think of his name now. I was shouting out a rapper, but I can't think of his name. We the best. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know why it just slipped my mind, but he had a song called Major Key. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's their injury report, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to get to the starting lineups. I mean, for the Knicks, I expect the Knicks to have the same starting lineup as usual, except Jimmy Hart will be in there for Quentin Grimes, right? So you're looking at Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. You expect the same starting lineups for the Knicks, right?
Yes, I was thinking about sub for Tibbs, putting Hart back on the bench and advancing Quentin Grimes to the starting lineup. But I think Tibbs is, looking for the matchup, playing Josh Hart versus Jimmy Butler. So I think that's going to be that's the starting lineup, like you just said.
Yeah. I can't see right now Tom Thibodeau putting Quentin Grimes back in the starting lineup. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do feel as though the lineups work better with Quentin Grimes starting and Josh Hart coming off the bench. I just like Josh Hart's change of pace defensively. You know what I mean? It just changes the pace with the Knicks and the pressure that they can bring to teams. But I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't the time you want to tinker and make changes, I guess. And ever since Quentin Grimes went out, Josh Hart has been in the lineup. And, if you change right now, you may shake something up. At least that's what I believe Tom Thibodeau feels. But how do you feel, though, about the bench lineup without Josh Hart?
Well, for me, looking just at the major force of the bench as far as scoring goes, which is Emmanuel Quickly and Quentin Grimes at this point, I don't think he relies on Obi Toppin's offense that much, right? So I really think that if those guys managed to put a couple of buckets on, he would be way more comfortable. I think in this series, the bench will never be like 4 guys off the bench and a guy from the starting lineup. I think it's going to be more of meshing the bench with the starters. And that's why, just looking at the bench as a solo unit, I think it's kind of useless. But like you said, it's definitely not the same thing that they had Josh Hart. We got to remember Josh Hart is a great rebounder. He can advance the ball really fast and go coast to coast, which disrupts the Heat defense. And I think that's a key factor also to getting a W. It's not letting the Heat defense to set up, because we know that they're a great defensive team.
Yeah. I'm going to get back to what you said about the benches. But before then, assuming that Jimmy Butler starts, is playing, of course he's going to start. Assuming that Jimmy Butler is playing, I would expect Gabe Vincent, Max Struss, Bam Adebayo, Kevin Love, and Jimmy Butler to be the starting lineup for the Miami Heat. I can't foresee them making any changes either. Right? I think Eric Spoelstra, Tom Thibodeau from the same school of thought. Maybe Spo is willing to do a few more things defensively than Tom Thibodeau is, but I think they're from the same school of thought. They're not going to mess with anything. They're not going to tinker at this point in time unless they're absolutely desperate. And right now, neither one of those teams are absolutely desperate, right? Both of them are right in the midst of the series. As a matter of fact, the first 2 games are major proof, and I'll talk about it when we get to the series statistics, but the first 2 games are major proof that these 2 teams are just straight up evenly matched. And it can go either way. And I know a lot of Miami Heat fans are always in our chats talking a lot of garbage. And we, the Knicks fans, we give Miami Heat a lot of respect. For some reason, though, they find it hard to respect the New York Knicks. That's okay, though. They'll figure it out sooner or later. They'll figure it out. They'll see what's going on. So I'm going to talk about that in the series stats, as we look at the stats of the 2 teams and what they've done in Game 1 and Game 2. But as far as the lineups, and I think you're right, they're going to mix and match lineups. But I just feel when Josh Hart comes into the game, he brings a change of speed defensively, right? And I also feel that he works very well with Obi and being able to run in transition. Now he does add transition to the starting lineup, but on the bench, when you have Josh Hart, you have Obi, and you have Emmanuel Quickly, and those guys can actually get up and down the floor together. I think it changes now the defensive strategy of the opposing team. Now you can put them all on the floor together, but I feel like when they when they come in for the starters is when you get the change of pace. When you kind of ease them in, Josh Hart is already in the starting lineup, and then you bring in Quickly, and then you bring in Obi. It's like the team has a chance to get used to what it is that you're trying to do with those guys out there on the floor. Which is the reason why I like seeing Josh Hart out there, coming off the bench. But I get it, and I'm not complaining about it. You know what I mean? I actually kind of agree with Tibbs in this aspect. Let's not make any changes right now. Let's do what we came to do with the unit that got us here, and this is the unit that got the Knicks here. You know what I mean? So you can't argue with it. Can't argue with it at all. Now let's get to some series stats. Oh, again, I'll just reiterate the starting lineups for those who may have just joined us. For the New York Knicks, we're expecting Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. For the Miami Heat, assuming that Jimmy Butler plays, he's questionable, but assuming that he plays, we expect Gabe Vincent, Max Struss, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, and Bam Adebayo. All right, so those are what we expect these starting lineups to be. All right, now let's get to some series stats. All right, because over the first two games, the teams have basically been even, Andy, when you think about it, right? The Knicks won game two, what was it, 111 to 106 or something like that, right? 111 to 105, the Knicks won game two. Miami won game one, 108 to 101. But when you look at the stats, I don't want to say that they mirror each other as far as the stats, but there are a lot of things that were just reversed and opposite. Okay, in game two, the Knicks shot much better from the three-point line, 40% from the three-point line. All right, they got to the line more because Julius Randle was in the game. The Knicks got to the line 30 times to Miami's 17. A lot of Heat fans were, the refs are cheating for the Knicks and blah, 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 all that type of garbage. You know what I'm saying? That's not true, but that's, of course, what they're going to say. But in game one, Miami got to the line 8 more times than the Knicks because Julius Randle wasn't there and Jimmy Butler was there. Right? And then when you look at, Jimmy Butler in game one, he had 25 points, like 10 rebounds and 3 assists. Let me get those numbers, make sure I have those numbers exactly right for you. Jimmy Butler in game one actually had 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. Excuse me. And then in game two, Julius Randle basically matched those numbers. He had 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists in game two. Right? So, you could see, the loss and addition of those two players are key to each team. Both players get to the line a lot. Both players can facilitate for their team. Both players can rebound the basketball. Right? Neither one can fire it up from three. Julius Randle can, but he's not, a great three-point shooter, but he can have his moments where he gets hot. Jimmy Butler, not really. All right, so when you look at both games, with Julius Randle out, the Heat had the advantage, especially from the line, having, their leader out there on the floor. The Knicks having one of their leaders not out there on the floor. And then in game two, that's what it was for the Knicks. Now, I'm expecting both of them to be out there. It's going to be a clash. Uh, what's your thoughts on that? Just looking at the stats of the teams with and without their star players.
Well, just to add some to what you said, I got a couple of things to say. We're rhetoric the Heat fan base, talking about the referees that they were, playing on the Knicks side. What I got a rebuttal for that. Only 2 games that the Knicks lost in this year's playoffs were refereed by Tony Brothers, and I'm not blaming him. I'm just putting it out there. The other thing is, what we got to realize is, like you said about the numbers, they're really similar and stuff like that. But both of these teams play kind of similar defense. They don't want to get scored on in the paint, which leaves a 3-point shot open. That's why, one game we won, we lost because of the 3-point shooting. The other thing is the free throws. The disparity in that statistic is also a key factor to this matchup. And like you said, 2 guys, basically the leaders for both teams, they have the star power, right? And if they're going to get the calls, and I'm not saying that if they're going to get extra calls from the refs, if they're going to get their classic calls that they have during the season and during their gameplay, thanks to their gameplay, that's going to be an interesting game. Like you said, also what I would add to these 2 games that brought us to game 3 is neither team had a high lead. I think like the highest lead was 12 maybe, or even 10,
the highest
right?
lead.
So these teams are really close, like you said, that they actually mirror each other. So
the highest lead throughout both games. The Knicks led by 12 in game 1. I think Miami Heat led by 11 in game 1. And then the highest lead in game 2 was 8 by either team, I believe.
And that kind of lead is like 2 3-pointers, and you start to panic, get a timeout. If you leave the guys for a run like 3 threes, which is going to be like a 9-0 run, the lead is gone, right? So
yeah, no doubt about it. The Knicks have dominated the glass so far this series, though. Right? I mean, 50 rebounds in the first game. In the second game to 34 rebounds for the Miami Heat. And, of course, that's one of the keys. It's always going to be one of the keys for the Knicks. You got to rebound the basketball, especially if you're a team that may not shoot the ball as accurate as you would like. And that's the New York Knicks, right? It's sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're not accurate. I think the addition of Julius Randle really does amplify the Knicks rebounding. You know what I'm saying? In game 1, the Knicks out-rebounded Miami. Okay? And those exact numbers for game 1, let's see. The Knicks had, if I can get it up here. All right. In game 1, the Knicks had 48 rebounds. Miami had 39 rebounds. In game 2, the Knicks had 50 rebounds. Miami had 34 rebounds. Numbers pretty much consistent, right? But I think with Julius Randle out there, it really does amplify the Knicks rebounding because in game 1, even though Obi Toppin did have, I think he had 8 rebounds in game 1, the physicality wasn't there. And I'm not mad or blaming anything on Obi Toppin. It's just the physicality wasn't there. In game 2, there was more physicality, but Julius Randle added to the lineup. He grabbed 12 rebounds. He's just a more consistent and more ferocious rebounder than Obi Toppin. And when you pair that with Josh Hart, who's a really good rebounder, RJ Barrett is a good rebounder, Mitchell Robinson can obviously rebound. I think that poses problems for the Miami Heat. The Knicks really got to continue to rebound the ball, especially if they're not hitting shots. Then they really got to rebound the ball. I feel like the Knicks are just a better rebounding team, and they're going to rebound better than Miami.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the keys is a 3-point shooting. Feeling the shot doesn't matter which players. as far as the team-wise percentages is going to be good, I think, it's going to be way easier for the Knicks, unless, the free throws disparity is so big that it might be, overweighting that. But I think, the shooting percentages from the free throw line and from the 3-point line is going to be key to getting a W today.
Yeah.
And this series, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. Keith Turner. Let me see. Let me go back. Keith Turner said, "We're not evenly matched. I don't see that." I don't know. I just disagree with you. I think we are evenly matched. If you look throughout the regular season, all of the games were tight. The Knicks won the series 3-1, but it was a last second, a game-winning three-pointer by Julius Randle in one of those games that helped the Knicks, that elevated the Knicks to a 3-1 series lead, right? But all of the games were tight. So far in the playoffs, the games are tight. I think they're two evenly matched teams, and they're battling. I don't think that means the Knicks can't win. I think it means that they can win. They just got to be more focused. And they've got to do the little things. I see someone earlier in the chat say the Knicks got to do the little things, and I agree 100%. They got to do the little things to win this basketball game, to win this basketball series. The little things, three-point shooting. We're going to talk about keys to the game, but the little things and three-point shooting are keys, because the Knicks have actually shot well from the field throughout this series. In game one, while they shot 20% from the three-point line, they shot 47%, almost 48% from the field, 47.7% from the field. It's the three-point shooting. If the Knicks just hit 3 more threes in that game, they win. They win that basketball game.
And same, they had the open looks. It was just not the Knicks day that day.
Right. And they're going to continue to get those open looks because of the way that Miami, the way that they play defense. They will continue to get open looks. You know what I mean? Let's talk about some keys to the game. This game starts at 3:30, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's talk about some keys to the game. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the keys to the game that I put out earlier today. All right, and I think they still apply. I'll run them by Andy, see what you think. I'm pretty sure you have some things that you'd like to add in the chat. I know you'd like to add some things as well. All right, one more thing. Rich Jim kind of, mentioned, said maybe not match in position, but all around team, we are better. I think that remains to be seen, to be honest with you. And I'm not discounting us. I think we have more depth. We haven't shown it yet, but I do think we have more depth because they have some injury issues going on. Are we better all around? We'll see. You know what I mean? In the regular season, we were. Playoffs are a different beast. Playoffs are a totally different beast. But Andy, keys to the game. Number one I have is matchups. I mean, not matchups. Matching the energy of the Miami Heat in game one on their home court. Right? The Miami Heat crowd is going to try to bring it. They're going to try. I don't know how, I don't know how much they can actually bring it, but they're going to try to bring it. Knicks fans will be in the building, so we'll have something to say about that. Right? But the Knicks, what do you think? What do the Knicks need to do to match the energy of the Miami Heat today?
Well, it's going back to the little things, right? Hustle plays, rebounds, disrupting the passing lanes. If that occurs for the Knicks, it disrupts the Heat. And I think, if we don't let the Heat go on long scoring stretches, I think we should be at least close and in the game when the game is going to be on the line in the fourth quarter. And I think that's most important, because then it's just concentration and finishing what the coach draws up.
Yeah, I think
and nowadays we got Jalen Brunson to lead in that category. If he's going to be passing the ball, if he's going to be shooting the ball, I think he's going to be the main guy that's going to run the offense in those key plays.
Yeah, I think that's a key right there. taking care of the ball, making good decisions in those key areas, those key times, doing all of the little things. Um, that's going to help you to match the energy. It's going to help you because you're not going to turn the ball over. You're not going to, especially early in the game. The Knicks have done a good job throughout the playoffs, not getting down early in the game. But if you start off with turnovers, you're making bad decisions, taking some bad shots that lead to easy layups for the Miami Heat, then now you're playing right into the crowd's hands, so on and so forth. So I agree. Do the little things. Start off doing the little things, playing defense and hustling. I think that helps you match the energy of the opposing team. Anytime you step out there on the floor, I think it helps you match that energy. Now, the Knicks, I mean, there's been a game here or there throughout the season where the energy wasn't totally there. But for the most part, I think they always came with energy. And I think the Knicks will come with energy again today. They are a team that is they're new to this situation. Like every game in the second round is new to this team. Every time the Knicks move forward, it's new. So I think their focus levels are high because it is new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, we're in new territory. We're in new territory. We're in new territory. You know what I mean? And I feel like with this team, always being in new territory invokes a bit of fear. And not fear in a bad way, right? I think fear in a good way. You need a little bit of fear. That fear helps to motivate you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I think this team does have some fear, which is the reason why they come out strong as they do in just about every single one game. I think, against Cleveland, they got blown out, of course, right, when they lost that game. In every other game, the Knicks have come out strong. I'm expecting them to come out strong today and match the energy of the Miami Heat. Who do you think gets us started for us to have that strong start? Is it Jalen Brunson? Is it Julius Randle? Is either one more important to getting it started, to matching the energy of the Heat?
Well, usually throughout the season, what we saw from the Knicks, it was, first quarter guy was Julius Randle, right? So, the second, skid was probably RJ, and Jalen Brunson was the guy that was finishing up doing the finishing touches in the fourth quarter. Me personally, I would love them to not have one guy because, then the team can just adjust, throw double teams and stuff like that. I want, them to take turns and make buckets. So the Heat are going to be, basically hopeless in those situations, because if Julius Randle gets you 2 buckets, they move the ball to Jalen Brunson. He gets you 2 buckets, then goes RJ with 2 buckets. The Heat can catch up with our 3 guys as scorers. If it's going to be Jimmy, cool, it's going to be Jimmy. But if those, second and third tier guys on the Heat are not going to be able to score, we might, grab a lead and just ride it out till the end of the game.
Yeah. I would like to see Julius Randle. I feel like Julius Randle normally plays better when he gets off to those starts.
Yeah, and he needs that, right? He's kind of that kind of a player that he needs to see the ball go through the hoop.
Exactly.
And then he feels more confident on the offense, but also that makes him play better defense.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that Julius is like tied with him. He plays good offense, he's going to bring it on defense. It should be the other way around. If you play good defense, you get triggered on offense, but with him is kind of reverse.
It's kind of, it is sometimes. It's kind of reverse form. He thrives off of, being productive out there on the floor, on the offensive side. Now, I will say it doesn't take away from his rebounding. And he does try to do other things, but you can see he gets he gets emotional. But I will say throughout the playoffs, like against Cleveland, when his shot wasn't falling, he didn't get emotional.
Yeah,
And
you
he
can see that
stayed
his
focused.
mindset is really he's focused. He's not gonna do stupid things, and that's really important as far as not only Knicks fans but us, his teammates, and the coaching staff.
Yeah,
That he's focused, he's concentrated, and that's the thing. He's not easily going to be derailed from that. So
right,
that's a great thing
right.
for the Knicks.
That's great because they need Julius Randle to be and stay focused. And you got to watch the Miami Heat. You know what I mean? Trying to get under Randle's skin. Jimmy Butler, they haven't played against each other in these playoff series yet. This will be the first time that they've played against each other, right? So the Knicks have got to, Julius Randle, what I mean? Don't let Jimmy Butler get under your skin. Because I can see Jimmy Butler trying to do that, right?
And I don't want Randall to smile at him when that happens.
Yeah,
Like literally.
Yeah, just like we see on the screen. If you see my screen, Andy, you got Julius Randle with a devilish smile and Jimmy Butler screaming, right? Yeah, that's exactly what we want. We want Julius Randle to just smile at him, throw his hands in the air, walk away. You know what I mean? Just like when Donovan Mitchell jumped up at him and pushed him.
Yeah, or like Jaylen Brown, right? And in that Celtic game, he just was like,
yeah. Jalen Brunson is also Jalen Brunson is always a key, right? So is Julius Randle, but Jalen Brunson is always a key to the Knicks getting off to a good start. I want to see Jalen Brunson get off to a good start. I was just looking at pictures as I was getting my thumbnails together, and so many pictures. Jalen Brunson is in the paint with 4 guys around him. This is how much attention Jalen Brunson draws. Right? And it's incredible. If you look at the thumbnail for the video that I dropped earlier today, about 6 o'clock this morning, you see Jalen Brunson with 3 guys around him. And there are plenty of pictures with Miami Heat, 4 guys around Jalen Brunson. He draws these guys. We need the Knicks players to be in the right position so that Jalen Brunson can kick it out. Now, the Miami Heat, they do a good job of closing back out to shooters, but everyone's got to be in the right spots because Jalen Brunson is going to draw a lot of players because they're afraid of, even though he doesn't get up and dunk on you and all of those things, he's still very efficient when he's inside the paint, right? So the Knicks have got to be in position, ready to catch and shoot. Jalen Brunson, it pains me that he's as small as he is because it's hard for him to see over the defense. And I think this is one of the strategies, right? Get him isolated, when he penetrates, create a wall around him so that he can't see to the other side of the floor, right? So now his only option is to kick it out to maybe a corner or to a wing where the Heat can get back out and close out, right? Tom Thibodeau, I think, and, it could be too late right now. Maybe I should have said this earlier so maybe Tom Thibodeau would hear it or I could DM the Knicks or something. I don't know. But they've got to figure out a way for Jalen Brunson to be able to crack that wall, to get the ball to the other side of the floor quicker so that shot is now wider open, or open a little sooner, however you want to say it. All right, but just check out, just type in New York Knicks versus Miami Heat, and you'll see pictures of, 4 Heat players, 3 or 4 Heat players around Jalen Brunson when Jalen Brunson is in the lane. So I think that's something that, something tactical that the Knicks, could work on. I don't know if they have. We'll see, what it looks like again in this game, but something for the future that they can really look at. The Knicks, though, also, we'll get back to, let's skip over to shooting the 3 then. And how important that is. The Knicks have got to shoot the 3, right? Jalen Brunson is going to draw defenders. Julius Randle is going to draw defenders. In game 2, they knocked down the 3. R.J. Barrett shot well from the 3-point line. Julius Randle shot well. Jalen Brunson shot well. All right? Josh Hart shot 50% from the 3-point line. this has to continue. It has to if the Knicks are going to win this series. Do you think the Knicks can win this series if they dip below 35% from three? Can they win this series? Right now they're at 30%. It's tied, but they shot 40% in game 2. If they're below 35%, can they win it?
Only if it's timely hoops, and only if it's timely hoops. And to add to what you said, I think Jalen Brunson in game 1 was 0 for 7. Neither Emmanuel Quickly or Quentin Grimes showed up that game. Game 2, Quickly and Grimes, I think they Quickly made a 3, but it's still, we have still 2 of those guys that I named, Quickly and Grimes, that give us that kind of a cushion, because you kind of expect if they play on their level that they're going to hit a 3.
Right.
Currently, they're playing below their numbers and below their level of game. That's why we got the room to improve, not only counting that the rest is going to stay at their level. Even if the rest dips, we should get that, filled out by Quickly and by Grimes. I just hope we're not going to have a game like game 1, which, around 20% sim, it's unacceptable, basically, if you want to get a W.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I see someone in the chat say, I have it starred, and I want to put it up. Well, that's not one that I wanted to put up, but Greg, he said if Brunson takes 30-plus shots, he'll get 40. Possibly, but I don't know if we want Brunson taking 30-plus shots. Anyway, speaking of Brunson, Amazing Sensation said, have a shooter behind Jalen Brunson when he goes to the paint. I think the Knicks do that. See, Brunson is going to go to a side, left or right. He's going to go to a side. And what the Miami Heat do is they create a wall around Brunson so that he can only see, if he goes to the left, he can only see to the left, because they have this wall guarding off the right side of the floor, cutting off the reversal, right? So then what do the Knicks do? They put a shooter maybe in the corner, a shooter over on the wing to the side where Brunson is, so that he can have someone to kick it out to. But the side that's open, it's the opposite side of the floor. And the Heat seem to be a pretty good team at once Brunson kicks it out, they close out, and if the ball swings, they're able to rotate back over, and get to those shooters. Now, the Knicks do have some open shooters. I guess this is the importance of Julius Randle out there, because he also brings gravity, and he can, he collapses the defense as well, but he can see over top of the defense. And so this is important for Julius Randle to be able to reverse the ball to the other side of the floor, with a skip pass. Now, sometimes I get mad because he takes so long getting that skip pass off, but I can understand the logic. Okay, Danny, you getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna just add that what we gotta remember is that the Heat, they know how to cut the passing lanes, and those passes are really, really dangerous. They got always a guy at the top of the key just waiting.
Yep.
Unless it's a shot and it's a rebound for that outlet pass that Kevin Love can throw, or just someone's going to have a steal, even in the corner, that he's going to go on the outlet. And, this is the playoffs. The fast break, the easy buckets is the best way to score in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think, every team's going to do that. But with the Heat, you got to be really cautious with that ball.
Got to. Yeah, those cross-court, they're waiting for that cross-court pass. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, sometimes they're even gonna, they're gonna take a step back and just wait for that pass just to make the move and just to cut the passing lane.
Yeah.
So
no doubt. Yeah, they will do that, but I don't know if it's necessary. Julius Randle, he's going to throw those passes. He's going to jump in the air and maybe, have the defense confused about when or where he's going to pass it. I just hope he doesn't travel, you know what I mean? But, he's good at being able to see over the defense to find who the open person is. Jalen Brunson, get inside the paint. Maybe if he doesn't go so deep to the basket, he can negate some of that. And rely on the mid-range a little bit more. He is a mid-range king. He's one of those mid-range kings. You know what I mean? He kills him in the mid-range. But either way, when that ball is kicked out, the Knicks got to knock down the three if they're going to be successful in this series, if they're going to win this series. They've also got to defend the three, right? Now, Miami shot like 34% from the three-point line this series. But when I look at the game, though, the 3-point shots that they make feel bigger than I guess maybe they are. I don't know. They feel bigger. Yeah, maybe because the game is bigger, but they just feel bigger, and they seem to be open a lot, right? It's because of the way the Knicks play defense. Miami plays the same type of defense. We were just talking about 4 guys on Jalen Brunson when he's in the paint. Miami does the same exact thing, right? Or the Knicks do the same exact thing, right? They try to get the ball out of the paint, make you spray it out, and see if you're going to be able to knock down those 3-point shots. Are you afraid that Miami's really going to get hot from the 3-point line? They haven't been burning it up from the 3-point line in this series. They did against Milwaukee. Are you afraid that they will if the Knicks do not cover that line? Because I am. They got guys that can shoot it.
Yeah, and like you said, Sam, you know why it hurts most versus the Heat? Because those guys aren't like those top of the league shooters. You know, I know Max Strus can make a 3, Caleb Martin can make a 3, Gabe Vincent can make a 3, but they're not like Steph Curry level, right? And nobody's like Steph Curry level.
Right.
But I'm saying like you don't expect them to take 7 or 8 3-pointers a game. And they take and they make even half, and then you're like, you know, why we let them open?
Right.
If you're gonna leave guys open, you have to, you know, realize that they can make it, right? So it's really hard about that. And the worst, maybe not the worst thing, is that we gotta realize that Kevin Love, he's a vet, but you don't forget how to shoot the 3, even in that age that he's, you know, in, right? So closing out on Kevin Love, I think he might be the ignition point of that 3-point barrage, and we know that he can also hit in bunches. So it's really hard, you know, if you leave him open, he might get the Heat started like that.
Yeah. Kevin Love, you know, I think because you got a guy like Mitchell Robinson guarding him when he's out there, or Julius Randle, either one, however it goes. You know what I'm saying? Both of those guys sometimes struggle with getting out on those 3-point shooters, especially Mitch, you know, because that's not what he does. You know, he guards the paint. But Julius Randle, you know, we've only seen him in one game this series, but he'll have moments where he misses those rotations to close out, and you can't do it against Kevin Love. We remember the first game against Cleveland in the regular season when Kevin Love was playing for Cleveland. Kevin Love dropped 30 on us because of that pick and pop. I hope Spo doesn't go back and look at that game and figure out how to run that pick and pop. You know what I'm saying? Because Kevin Love was killing us against us with it. You know, and I agree. Kevin Love can be an X factor in this series with the way that he can knock down the 3. Now, the good thing is, you know, he can't play that many minutes. You know, he's not going to go 40 minutes on you. He's going to go, you know, 20 to 25 minutes. So, but if he's hot, they might. So that's definitely something we got to watch for, that pick and pop. Gabe Vincent, this guy, man, this guy's been the second best player on the team. It's like he's taking the place of Tyler Hero. You know what I mean? He almost won game 2 for Miami. You know what I mean? The Knicks you can't put all your resources towards him, but you got to defend this guy. You can't just you can't play around with him. He can shoot the ball. He can shoot it off the dribble. He can go to the basket. He can spot up. He's trouble. How are you looking at possibly defending Gabe Vincent?
Well, the easiest thing, this is the last thing I'm going to say because I got to run. I would put Deuce McBride a couple of minutes on him just to make him tired, pick up him full court, because we all know that they will. He's going to shoot. I don't know if you saw his highlights. He played. He plays on for national team of Nigeria. He made like 5 or 6 threes versus Team USA, and you know he can get hot. We know that now. I don't think we realized that before the series. I think we were like, oh, this guy is an undrafted player and one of those guys that, that can play good, but it's not always be good. Or, a game of 12, 16 points for him is going to be the highest he's going to go versus the Knicks. Gabe Vincent he surprised me. I was thinking he might not be that kind of a player, at least in the playoffs, but he opened a couple of up eyes. So
He definitely did. He's opened up some eyes. So, he's definitely a guy that is now on the scouting report. You know what I'm saying? And you've really got to pay attention to what Gabe Vincent is doing out there on the floor. Of course, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, you know what you got to do against those guys. But, Gabe Vincent is a guy that's been, he's been a killer for us against us so far in this series. So you really got to watch him. But, all of this, we got to defend that three-point shot. I don't want to leave these guys open. They got Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Max Struss. These guys, Kevin Love, these guys can knock down the three. Kyle Lowry, and some of them can go off the dribble too.
Exactly.
So, we got to be able to defend them, contest the shots without fouling. You know what I mean? Without fouling. Andy, I know you said you got to get ready to roll.
Yeah.
Hey, we want the Knicks to win. I know it might hurt your pockets, but we need the Knicks to win.
Same. I'll take that bash, bro. I'll take it for the Knicks. That's gonna be a good one for me. So I'll be happy if the Knicks win, and that's the most important thing, not my pocket.
Okay. Well, hopefully they don't bring a whole lot of people. It's not like 20 or 30 of them that you gotta pay for.
I hope so too. Okay, let's go Knicks, Sam. I know you can roll it over to the end of the show.
Yeah, no
Keep
doubt,
it as always, bro.
We got it. Appreciate you,
Peace,
Andy.
guys.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks. Look, we're talking about our keys to the game, and we're just talking. We were just talking about 3-point shooting. Yeah, the Knicks have got to. The Knicks have got to defend the three. Kind of lost my train of thought there, in hoping that Andy doesn't have to pay too much money. But the Knicks got to defend that 3-point shot. Because if not, we talked about it earlier. This game is going to come down to threes. Or the series is going to come down to threes. It really is. Whichever team is knocking down the three or stopping the other team from knocking down the three, we'll have a better chance of winning this series. Other keys to the game, the bench, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks, we need Emmanuel Quickly. We need Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin. These guys need to step up. We need points from these guys. Points are at a premium in this series. Miami came into the series averaging 124, 125 points per game. The highest amount of points they've scored in this series is 108. It's going to be like this the entire series, in my opinion. All right, two scrappy teams that can get after it defensively. You're not going to get a whole lot of points. So whatever we can get from that bench is necessary. From those bench guys, Quentin Grimes, IQ, Obi Toppin is necessary. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's doing his job. He's rebounding when he's in the game for Mitch, or if Mitch is having trouble with Bam Adebayo. All right, he's hitting a couple of shots here and there. He hit a couple of big shots when they're necessary. But we need more production from the bench. I'm waiting for Emmanuel Quickly to have a game. He will. I think he will. I'm hoping that it's today. I'm hoping today jump starts his game. IQ, we need you, man. Quentin Grimes, we need you to knock down those threes. Both guys are playing good defense. I know Grimes is just coming back from injury and all of that, but we need him to knock down those threes. Take care of the basketball, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks have got to take care of the ball. In game one, and if you've seen my 5 keys to the game, in game one, the Knicks had 13 turnovers, 5 in the fourth quarter. 5 in the fourth. In game two, the Knicks had 10 turnovers, 3 in the fourth quarter. You got to take care of the basketball. Stay composed. Keep your head together. Don't lose it out there. Because Miami Heat, they will take advantage. They'll score off of those turnovers. 10 turnovers isn't a lot. 13 turnovers isn't a lot. But when you have majority of them, or not majority of them, but a high number of them, the highest percentage of your turnovers come in the fourth quarter, that's an issue. Got to take care of that basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Stay composed, especially, these so-called Heat fans are going to, try to get rowdy. Knicks fans, we need you to show up, show out, be loud. Be louder than them. Be louder than them. Keith Turner said, if IQ don't play well and show up, we're not winning this game today. Well, it depends. Does Quentin Grimes play well and show up? If Quentin Grimes shows up and he's knocking down his three and getting a couple of strikes to the basket, could be different. You know what I'm saying? Could be different. My question to you is, when does Tom Thibodeau, IQ's minutes are already down to like 9 to 10. When does Tom Thibodeau throw his hands up and say, well, all right, I'm done with this one? You know what I'm saying? Or does his minutes just continuously shrink? Do you take out, do you want to take IQ out and put Deuce in? I don't know. They're both good defenders. I don't know if Deuce is a better defender than IQ. Would you be putting Deuce in expecting that he's going to score points in Louis Emmanuel quickly? I don't think so. I don't know. It's listen, IQ is learning this playoff game. And it's not easy. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? I think that IQ is going to come around. He's just got to play loose. He had the one game against Cleveland where he played loose, right? And I wasn't happy with all of his shot selections, but he played loose. And that's how he has to play. And I think that's been the problem in this playoff series so far. So much pressure on each possession doesn't always allow him to play loose because he doesn't want to make that mistake. And IQ plays better when he plays loose. But I think we're going to have one coming from IQ, man. We're going to have one coming. We need one. We need one. A couple of other things to talk about. We talked about Gabe Vincent, but Jimmy Butler, we got to keep him off the line. Right? If he's playing today, keep him off the line. I assume that he's going to play today. Of course, the Miami Heat want to keep Julius Randle off the line. Both things are easier said than done. Right? You're just not going to. Both guys know how to draw fouls. So it's tough to keep these guys off the line. But you don't want Jimmy Butler shooting 11 free throw attempts. All right? And they don't want Julius Randle shooting 8, 9, 10, 11 free throw attempts. But keep him off the line. It's part of their offense. It's part of what they want. Right? They want a grind out type of game. And if guys are consistently getting to the line, that's exactly what this game is. The Knicks want that kind of a game too. I guess that's the reason why it's such a matchup between these two teams, because they both play that style of basketball. But I don't want Jimmy Butler, if he's playing today, to get on the line and try to dominate by getting to the line. And I know there's Heat fans in here. You guys, I see you guys in the chat talking. I'm not going to point you out because that's what you're looking for. Not going to do it today. Now, maybe on another day I would have, but I'm not going to do it today. It's all about the Knicks today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm looking at a picture, from a video from 3 minutes ago. And there's already more New York Knicks fans in the Miami Heat's arena than Miami Heat fans. How pathetic is that? How pathetic is that? I'm looking at it and I see orange, I see blue. I see orange and blue and orange, whatever you want to call it. How pathetic is that, Knicks fans? Heat fans. More Knicks fans in the building than you in your home arena. Some bums. Bums. You know what I mean? Straight bums. But anyway, back to the keys, man. Don't let Jimmy Butler get to the line. We got to figure out how to defend Gabe Vincent and not let him get loose. Is he a guy that you throw a trap at? Conventional wisdom would say no, but with the way that he's been playing, you might. You might want to get the ball out of his hands because he's been able to go off the dribble. He's been able to pull up. But then when he's in there with Kyle Lowry, you got another guy that can do those things as well. So, it makes them dangerous. And of course, Kyle Lowry plays down the stretch for them because, he's skillful and he's got the basketball IQ and he's got the pedigree, championship pedigree, and all that good stuff. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a tight one. We got about 38 minutes to go before the game starts. To lay it all down, keys to the game, match the energy of the Miami Heat and their so-called fans. Defend the three. Don't let them get loose because they will. They got shooters. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, Max Struss. They got shooters. Got to defend it. Hit the three. Got to hit the three. Right? Does it have to be 40%? No, but 37, 38%. Knock down that three. Loosen up that defense. We need some bench production. We need somebody from the bench to get loose, get out, play well. Take care of the ball. Don't turn it over. This team will capitalize on turnovers, especially down the stretch. Take care of the ball. Watch Spo and trick plays like they did with Duncan Robinson in the last game. I still believe that was a trick play. Don't let Jimmy Butler get to the line. Figure out what to do with Gabe Vincent. Continue to play tough defense. Rebound the basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Grab those rebounds. Continue to dominate on the glass. This team cannot rebound with you. They're going to make an effort because I'm pretty sure they're talking about it. They're going to try, but I don't think they have the guys to rebound with us. Dominate the glass. Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. Dominate the glass. Mitch, stop letting Bam Adebayo just box you out. Put a body on that dude. He ain't that tough. Put a body on that dude. Isaiah Hartenstein, continue to come in and do what you do. Throw your body around. Knock them dudes around a little bit. They're going to try to be physical and rough. Jimmy Butler's going to try to get under Julius Randle's skin and anybody else's skin he can. Knicks can't, they can't afford, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Let him play his games. We just play basketball. You know what I mean? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me get to my prediction. I am predicting that the Knicks are going to win today. And it's going to be an important one. No doubt about it. Right? I think the Knicks win, go up 2-1. They'll have a chance to go up 3-1. I'm not even going to look that far to say whether or not they'll go up 3-1, but I think they'll get the win today and have the chance. I think they'll take home court advantage back. Put that pressure on the Miami Heat. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a battle. I think the score is going to be similar to what they were. The Miami Heat won game 1, 108-101. The Knicks won game 2, 111-105. I think we'll see similar scores. Similar scores, ladies and gentlemen. But I think the Knicks get that win today, 3:30, about 35 minutes. So, I want to know what you think. What are your predictions? Knicks get the win today? I think the Knicks get the win today. I think it's important. As a matter of fact, I think this win, I mean, obviously, if the Knicks lose this game 4, it's going to be extremely important for the Knicks, right? But I'm not going to say that they can't get game 4, but you don't want to put that pressure on yourself. You want to get this win and give yourself a chance to go up 3-1. Because if you get this win, now you're playing a little bit more loose in game 4, right? Whoever gets this win plays looser in game 4. You know what I'm saying? So let's say the Knicks get this win. In game 4, if it starts getting down the stretch and the Knicks are up 5, 6 points, that pressure really kicks in for Miami because they're like, yo, we can't go down 3-1. You understand what I'm saying? So the opposite would be, the same would be for the Knicks. The Knicks go down 2-1 in game 4. They're down 4, 5, 6 points. In that fourth quarter, down the stretch, that pressure kicks in. We can't go down 3-1. This game is pivotal. Can be pivotal. It's critical. Say that. Critical. Critical. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out. Let's go down to MSG South, like my man Jacko said. Get this win. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. Let's do it. I will see you on a post-game show. And let me know if you like the setup. Like I said earlier in my last video, not sure if I'm keeping it. Messing around with it. Doing some things. I feel like, I don't know, kind of feel like I'm in the middle of a transformer. The way it looks a little bit more futuristic than what I normally have. I think I'm probably going to switch to something that's a little bit more gritty feeling, playground type feeling. I don't know. But I just like to mess around with some new stuff. Let me know what you feel about it. Right? Leave it in the comment section. Leave it in the messages here right now. And I will see you guys, I don't know, 6:30 or so for the post-game show. Hopefully we'll talk about a Knicks win. Yeah, let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. 30 minutes. Let's do it. I'm out. Peace.